Welcome to another Sunday night with the Kazaki Flyer and Microsoft Flight Simulator. For those that might be interested, we're not on live weather tonight. Live weather in Tokyo is horrible. So we're on high clouds, reset, and we are at Romeo Juliet Alpha Alpha Narita. And anybody that wants to come along and fly with us, they're more than welcome to. Now, there are a lot of streamers on Sunday night to choose from right now. So anybody that's tuning in and wasting time with me, thanks. I appreciate it. There's no I just can't get over how much I just need to say thank you. So, well, the sooner we get going, the sooner we'll get started. Okay, first of all, we're going to eliminate this control stalk that's in our way. We'll turn it back on in a few minutes. Okay, there. That's a little bit better. Okay, we want to set our starter to right. Put the cover up. Generators on. Batteries on. Magnetos on. Beacon on. Now let's see. Got plenty of light here because we're on live time at least. Okay, we've got plenty of fuel. We've been visited by the fuel truck. So now we need to set our primer to left. Come on. No. No. There. That's good. Aha. Now we prime. Then we can come up here. And we went the wrong way. So we'll just turn the switch. Give it another hit, couple of hits. All right, that should do it. Now I want to be looking out the window a little bit. I want to look at this right here, at this engine. What we can do is we can open up the window a second, lean out and say, clear prop. Close the window. And push the button. And it starts. Yay! Okay, we want to change our primer. Find the sweet spot. There, switch to the right engine. Give it about 5 or 6 hits. And then we come up here. We want to kind of keep an eye on it. We want to change that over to the right side. Now we watch our right engine. hit the starter button. Well, there we go. And we have ignition. And so far, the controls haven't disconnected themselves. Okay, now that the engines are running, we're going to turn on the pitot heat. Turn our nav lights to steady. Extend our landing lights. And turn on our avionics. We shouldn't need too much of that. We're planning on a VFR flight. And we're 60 degrees Fahrenheit outside on the ground. So we'll enjoy that. Okay. Get myself scooted up here and into my seat. The microphone closer to the... Okay, release brakes. And we are taxiing. We want to come around in a slow circle here. We want this taxiway up ahead of us. And Viper Strike, that's great news. I'm glad you made it. What did you think of Tel Aviv? I did a little flight up there myself last week, and I thought it was spectacular. Our trip tonight is nowhere near that long. We get taxied down here to the end of this runway. We'll turn around and take off and head towards Tokyo. We don't need to go all the way down. Start tapping our brakes here. We'll take this entryway to the runway. A bit more right engine than left. Okay, we're almost out there. We'll keep turning left. Take the active here. Look left, look right. Nobody on final. Although there are some people up there. I don't think they're anywhere close enough for us to be worried about. Down here, turn our stick back on. Angle our viewer, sit up a little bit in the chair, in our seat, so we can see out over the nose. And power coming in. Airspeed is alive. 40 knots. Tail coming up. Tail dance. More power. And there we go. We're up. It's ugly, but we're up. Now get back in our seat. Start trimming up here. Uh-oh. And now it went. Okay, well, I'm going to change the camera view here in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to pause and reset those controls. Once I get some altitude here and can safely pause. I don't know what it's up to. Yep, not moving. Well, let's come on up. Well, that was inadvertent. Okay, pause that. And now reach over and take the camera off. Cut the mic. Okay, I didn't mean for that to happen. But we're plugged back in now. I thought I'd switch the cameras off and you didn't have to see that. And let's reach up here and take her off pause. Now we can retract our RPMs, I hope. I want to set for about 1900. And not go into a steep climb. There, now I can watch both. Now we're diving. We don't want to do that either. Overstresses the airplane. So we'll trim up. Hit in the general direction of 241 or so, 240. Basically, it's turn until you see Mount Fuji. No, down. All three. That turns our autopilot on for a couple minutes while we get more situated here. This time I'll remember to turn the camera off. Okay, there, we're back with you. A little bit better, more comfortably seated. Because we want to, let's see, pull back on that a little bit. And now we're going to be heading for the beach here. Okay, let's turn our range marker. There's the one we wanted. Give us an idea of what our course is going to be. Okay, we're a little cool, so we're going to close our cow flaps. Now we can hopefully do this. Let's safely try to turn this off. And down we go. A little bit of a right turn in there. Ease her out of their dive. Getting too fast. Better kill off a little speed here. Okay, we're kind of headed in the direction we want to go. And now we'll add some power back in. Bit of rudder input. Skies are nicely crowded here in Japan today. Fiddlesticks. I don't want to hit the power lines, they're kind of solid. But we do want to be right above. There, level her off, and try to hold it about here. Or tweaks on the trim tab. Stay above the power lines. You can see how heavy they are. When I did some flying earlier around here, and I found out how solid they are. Oh boy. Keep pulling that out of my ear. Right? Despite the precautions I took. You can see just how big a city Tokyo really is. We're still across the bay. Quite a few high-rises here. Okay, we can see Mount Fuji off in the distance now. We'll be getting a closer look at that volcano in just a little while. Here we are, we're approximately 300 feet. Now we need to cross this lake, this little bit of the bay. Now this is Tokyo Bay. Also a big star stage and screen. A very, very popular place to be. Too much, too little. There we go. Watch the wheel. We don't want to climb. We want to stay at about 400 feet or so. We've crept up to 9. Coming back down. Oh, here we go again. Man, I'm tired of this. Okay, it says it wants to update it. I think I'm going to try it before next week. Maybe this is one of the things they fixed. Okay, just a little bit of up trim. Oh, this is now definitely change the camera. Oh, there, that worked. Now I've got to disconnect my ears and stand up. Okay, let's see if this worked. Yeah, we have throttle control again. Hooray! Our trim is busted, but we're good. Now we're pulling 30 inches of manifold. We want to get them both the same there. Now we've creeped up to 1,000 feet. We want to get back down on the ground. As you can see, there are lots of rivers and canals here in Tokyo. There's even some broken scenery. So we'll just turn away from that. There's plenty to look at here in town. There, we're coming down 500 feet. I'm flying the Beechcraft D18. It's a payware from Coronado, which means it's not supported well. But it's really fun to fly, and it's nice and old, like me. We're going to have to play a game of dodge 'em here in a minute as we get in amongst the buildings. And really pay attention so that we don't hit. No, this isn't Amelia Earhart's aircraft. Amelia Earhart, she flew an Electra E-10. This aircraft was more used by a lot of civilians. You can still see it at air shows. There are quite a few of them that are still flying. And they're just an all-round nice utility twin. As you can see, I'm doing about 160 knots here through the city. There's a nice big bridge over there. One thing I was kind of sad was that Mothra's egg isn't here. Okay, stay away from that. That'll swat you out of the air. And there's the Tokyo Radio Television Tower. One of the few highly detailed things here. See, let's bank around to the left here as we head back toward the Bay Area. Want to kind of take a look at that bridge if we can. Up a little. There. Now let's see, we get around this high rise, we'll take a closer look at the bridge. You can see all the roadways. And unfortunately, see the way that MS treats the roads badly. Cars don't ride on the roads, they travel through the water. Okay, this is a Ferris wheel down by the docks. You can see how badly they did that. But it's there, which is more than a lot of things are. Hey, infidel fireman, hello. Welcome aboard. Okay, now we're going to start heading out of Tokyo. We'll fly toward the Yokohama side. Okay, as you can see, this is Hanada Airport. Yeah, we're headed where the two F-18s are playing around. That's our general direction. Now, let's see if I can do this right. Okay, got that. You hold still. Okay, we're going to put it on autopilot for a minute. And while we're still over Tokyo, we're going to take a look at our aircraft from the outside and take a look at the city. I don't know where it is, but somewhere in this urban sprawl, there's a Gundam suit that you can actually see from the air. They also have a pretty good, or some of the sceneries, not all of them, have a representation of Godzilla. Okay, fight with my earplugs again. I've got one live and one delay in my ear. And that gets confusing. No, I don't want to go back to that view. I want to go back to that view. Adjust our heading just a little bit. No. One thing you'll see a lot of in Tokyo are baseball fields. For some reason or another, the Japanese are as obsessed with baseball as Americans are. They're totally fans of it too. They enjoy a good game. Now we are close to the Yokohama side as we leave the main city of Tokyo behind. And where we're going is that perfectly conical shaped mountain ahead of us. Now let's get our engines boosted up to about 32. Check our instruments. We're green all over, except a little low on the oil pressure. But that's tolerable. Okay, now we've just got to fly up here towards the mountains. We'll be doing a lot of low-level flying through the mountains as we get close to Fuji. Because Japan is awfully, it's got a lot of hills around. It's not flat at all. You can just look out the windows and see that. In this case, look outside the airplane. Much easier. Skies are crowded here. I like that. I like seeing everybody enjoying this wonderful country. It's been about a year since I've flown here, but and they've updated a lot of things. Hello, Barry. How are you tonight? Welcome aboard. Welcome to the show. Welcome to my not so great show. And hopefully the controls won't disconnect again. I'm going to have to mess with that during this next week and see if I can figure that out. As long as OBS isn't hooked up, man, nothing disconnects at all. But the second I do that, so it's got to be in OBS. We're starting to get away from the crowds of folks. I'm surprised there are not more general aircraft flying around here. This is also a great place for warbirds. Now we're flying over, let me pull the map up here. RJ, well, that didn't help. Okay, that airport doesn't exist in... Wait a minute, that's not an up-to-date position. Okay, well, in other words, let's look on the inside. That'll tell us. Okay, that was RJTA that I just flew over. Romeo, Juliet, Tango, Alpha. Don't depend too much on your maps. Sometimes your electronics, they know better than you do. And as Fabio tries to teach us, try to stay ahead of your aircraft. Know where you're going, know what frequencies you're going to need, and plug them in well ahead of time. Don't just wait till the last minute to add your ILS or tune to the tower frequency. Now, the mountain just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I really like the way Mount Fuji looks. It's just a pretty mountain. Now, that's one thing I don't know where is in Tokyo, is Disneyland. Now, here in just a minute, we're going to go manual again as we go through the mountains. Because we'll have to go around the mountain, because I sure don't want to go over it. And Mount Fuji is approximately 9,000 feet high. And it is, as you can see, clearly a marker that is visible all over this part of Japan. Okay, and time to fly the plane again. Autopilot off. Okay, come on down a little bit. A little bit more power. Okay, now we just want to just wind our way through the hills. We'll see quite a few towns and villages along the way. Quite a few downdrafts. And we're taking the easy way. We're flying across the town. We'll get in the hills soon enough. Okay, we want to angle just a little bit to the left here. Go over this little ridge here. Little stutter. Not much of one. See the agriculture up in this cleared field. Now, a brave soul would probably try to fly under that bridge. I'm not one of them. I generally have bad experiences with Microsoft and Asobo's bridges. Let's keep in mind on our altitude here. We will have to climb a little even to go around Mount Fuji. Somebody's going to try to land the helo up there at the top, and I don't think they made it. Okay, there are almost flyable bridges under these gorges. Oh yeah, those are definitely flyable. As long as they're not solid all the way down. Another bridge to play with. Another couple of bridges, actually. Watch the downdrafts. And come around the hill. Try not to hit the trees or the power lines. You can see the little air balls on the power lines to keep pilots from hitting them. Okay, there we've cleared the first set of mountains. Or very big hills. Now the question is, north or south? We're pointed more to the south. We may just go around the mountain to the south. We don't have an actual radar altimeter in this bird to read, so we're just having to visually guess how high above the ground we are. We know how high we are above sea level. We're approaching 2,500 feet. But we're not that high above the ground. We're probably about 600-700 feet above the ground. We'll still have to climb a little bit to get over here. We've got plenty of airspeed in hand, so we won't stall, or shouldn't. There we go. 500 feet per minute. We can hold that. And there's a good close-up view of Mount Fuji. One of the most beautiful stratovolcanoes on the planet. Okay, we're coming up on our waypoint that we put on this side of the mountain. From there, we're going to Romeo, Juliet, Oscar, Juliet. And that'll be our last stop for the evening. So we won't take up any more people's valuable time. And some of our watchers might actually need to be going to sleep. Okay, we want to fly through this saddle. The mountain's so tall we can't see it. There we go. Beautiful place. Stay clear of the power lines. Go to the gates of St. Peter. He'll ask you, well, how did you buy the farm? I got swatted by a power line. You're in the wrong spot, buddy. Take the down elevator. Even more power lines. Yay! We'll actually have to climb now. On second thought, Japan's pretty. We won't climb. We just head for the beach over here. One thing about Japan, it being an island country, is you can get there from here. Let's see. Pull that back about there. As our airspeed is creeping up as we start to descend because we're trying to maintain the same level above the ground. You can see from our little Garmin 530 here, our course is heading over those mountains. Now, we're not going over the mountains, we're going around. You can see that property is of a premium around here. Any flat spot usually got somebody living on it. And some of them won't even live on the flat ground. They'll live on the side of the hills. Okay, it's pointless to have a map that's not working. Hello, Planet Neutral. Welcome aboard. As you can see, we're flying along the coast of Japan here. We're headed kind of towards our final stop of the evening. Going to keep our trim going here. Okay, now I want that because it's easier to use than the 530. Okay, that's too much trim. Flatten out here. Okay. There we go. Watch our airspeed, watch our altitude, watch our trim a little bit. Okay, zoom out on the map here. Here, more. Okay, we're going quite a bit down the coast here. Get a little low here. We're down to 300 feet. Okay, we'll stay along the coast. It'll get us there. Got plenty of fuel. That's the nice thing about the D18. It's got a good range. And what's better is it's got that nice radial sound to it. Don't know what the blue thing was. I'd say it doesn't look like a pool. More power lines. This country is one giant grid. We can get a little lower here, as long as we stay clear of the power lines. Watch our airspeed. We don't want to get too fast. And from here, it's just follow the coast. Keep our trim a little bit. There we go. Take our feet off pedals for a minute. Start to get rudder pedal implants in our toes. Okay, there's something to stay away from. We don't want to get swatted by that. Now we're down about 200 feet. It's comfortable. Close encounter? I think not. We'll get close to it, though. Those things are huge. One of my favorite videos was they showed the blades of one of those turbines on a truck. And then they showed them making a turn. And they had to work on that for about 15 minutes to make a 90-degree turn. There, the mountains of Japan come all the way down to the coast. Well, coming up on some flat ground, which means in Japan, a densely populated area. You see how far we've gotten away from Mount Fuji so far. and how fast it dwindles into the distance. Okay, we'll be coming up on Romeo Juliet, November Yankee here soon. It's just around, just across this peninsula here. Don't know what it is, but it'll just not let me trim it out tonight. Hey, just let George do it. We can cut a little inland. Take a little bit of the corner off. I haven't even reached over and hit my tunes button tonight. I need to. There. Now, just hold that course, hold that altitude. Turn away to the other side and push buttons. Yeah, there's a little bit of vibe going. We'll go external and take a look at that. Nice industrial center here along the river. There. Tune the camera around. Get on the other side, see where we're going here. We can see where we've been. Tokyo's up on the other side of the mountain. Come on, buttons. As you can see, there's a VOR up here. We could probably tune in and follow that. Can at least check it. Let's see. I have to turn the map back on, though. This clumsy arm keeps knocking my cords out of my ear. Let's try that again. And that didn't even connect. But I can at least see where we're at. Oh, shush. Buttons. 114.7. Okay. 114.7. Enter. We're on a heading of about 270. Tuned my another nav radio in there. I'm at least getting a DME. 17 miles. And the ride's down just a little bit more. Okay. How about that? That's a little bit better. They're still there, but they're not intrusive. Play with our EGT a minute. Get our engines balanced. That's close. Right about there. And there went the controls again. I'm going to smack that thing. I at least need something where I can just hit it with a stick from here. The sooner I get this done, the sooner it's over with. Here. And the mic down. Well, that's better for at least for a few minutes. I'm glad she was on autopilot. There, I can adjust the throttles and the RPMs again. It only disconnects one of the throttles, the ones for the throttles and pitch, prop pitch. They're kind of necessary to fly an airplane. Okay, it says we're passing close to an airfield. There's no telling where it might be at this zoom range. Come closer and see. Oh, we're good. We're good 4 miles from it. So it's over that way. I think I see it over there. Yep, I see the runway lights. We want to adjust our course back away from the mountains. Trying to get my mitt or my prop set right. When you see this little wheel stop spinning, either to the left or to the right, if it's not moving, you've got your prop set right. The more faster it spins, the more they're out of sync with each other. Now, to any of my European friends, if they're watching, I know it's very late for you all tonight, and I'm sorry I'm keeping you up. Not missing much. Go to bed. Get some sleep. I'm looking to get around these low ridges that keep sticking out into the bay here. There, might as well get rid of those for a couple of minutes. We're still headed toward the hills. Keep coming left, boy. You'll get there, get it right sooner or later. Power back in. Let it creep down to 30. We want about 32. I'll give it this. The DC3 is much easier to adjust. Now, I'm hoping that after my update, or after I update OPS on both computers, that, and probably, I don't know if I need to update the NDI, but I'll probably find out if I do or not. But if I don't, that's great. And hopefully the update will fix this problem. Goodness, don't disconnect me. I need those. Now, if I were driving a tank or playing my World of Warships, I wouldn't need those controls. But for flying an airplane, yes, I do. If we get past these hills, we can turn to the right. And there's more power line. What's your biggest fear? Power lines. Aren't you afraid of windmills? No, I can see those and dodge those. Power lines? Power lines hide in the dark. Okay, we're finally through that. Now we're going to start our turn here. I want to see if I can get that radio frequency. We've got one for each runway. Let's see, which one's the longer one? Okay, that KCC is 195. That's 114.2. We're getting a signal. And we just match that up in the center there. Three zero or so. To you. 35, 30, 32, 25, 20. Okay, almost got it. There we go. There, got it tuned in. Now we're got a little bit of wind pushing us, but we're headed that way. Looks like we've got yet more hills to go weave our way through. Was getting water reflections from down below. See our shadow as we head across the ground. It keeps breaking up as we go across the rice paddies. And we want to avoid the hills, but we'll come a little bit to the right. We'll see if we can go through this valley and pop out the other side with less hilly ground. But can't talk. Hilly ground. Then again, I've not been the greatest speaker ever before anyway. All this, and I used to be a disc jockey too. Wasted a lot of years in this life. So, there's a piece of advice, kids. Don't waste your time. Go for a goal and pick a goal and stick to it, and you can do it. I want to turn back to our original heading of 330. I wonder what that building is. Pretty good size. Kind of fancy looking. This is Japan. It's probably a bank. This ground needs some love. I think that's supposed to be a quarry. pretty good sized road. Wheat. There they go. A little bit too far. There, right about there. Oh, hiccup. That looks pretty steady right there. I'll beat that. All the things to see. We're still a goodly 10, 15 miles from the airport, and we can already see the lights. That's pretty wild. Of course, this sim is pretty spectacular anyway, so. And we're coming up on the, this is all the sprawl of the city of Nagoya. Okay. Let's kill the camera just a minute. There. Don't know how well that worked, but it tried. Rolly chairs on carpet don't work too good. Okay, we need to come a little bit to the left, counteract for the wind pushing us. Now it's just cruise on up there. Push the microphone around a little bit. Get it a little bit closer to us so we're not screaming into it so much. I just hope that somebody special has enjoyed our little trip to Tokyo tonight. It was their suggestion and we just followed along with it. I'm glad we went. I love this place. Well, Tweakin, welcome aboard. And yes, we're having a really good night tonight. Japan has offered up its secrets to us, and we've enjoyed every minute of seeing the sights here. Oh, there went the controls again. Okay, the longest flight I've ever done was with Allison Johnson. We flew in pretty much this speed. We flew we flew between Honolulu and San Francisco, and that's a pretty good long leg. Yeah, controls are out again. Well, we're getting there to the airport, so here we go with our little trick again. Oh, there we go. Plugged back in just in time to get here. Now there we'll turn the camera on so everybody can see the fear on our face as we come into land. Get our props right here and cut our engine back a little bit. Okay, get zoomed in here. Don't have that much altitude to lose, so that's not an issue. And getting cords wrapped up around our feet is. Okay, feet up on the pedals. Now I've got my weird hands pulling cords out of my ears. We'll cut our throttles back. We'll enter a right left-hand pattern here. I figure we'll go up there, turn around at that little hill, and if we turn there at that hill, that should just about put us online for the airport here for final. We don't want to climb, we want to go down. And we don't want to go down that much. And right about there, there's a temple on the top of that mountain. We're going to start our turn here. Reach over and see if we can't drop our gear. Not at this speed we can't. There's the airport over there. Hollering about a stall. Get our gear coming down now. Guess we just didn't hit the right button. Flaps. That. Sit up a little bit in our seat. And we're over the threshold at the throttles. Well, welcome to Nagoya. This is our stop for tonight. So we're going to go taxi to one of these FBOs and park for the evening. We'll do a full shutdown. Flaps back up. Just ease our way off the runway here. Such nice big hangars. And we didn't even have to switch tanks. How nice. Still 68% left. I like the look of that one. That's sufficiently old looking. Okay, that's ops. Come on, slow down. We don't want to have to walk a mile and a half. That's close enough. Go ahead and set our parking brake. Open our cowl flaps. Here, it can disconnect all it wants to now. I'm safely home. Okay, mixture 2 cut. Manifold pressure falling off. RPMs falling off. Engines off. Okay. Landing lights. Retract. Nav lights off. Beacon off. Magnetos off. Make sure everything else is turned off. Pitot heat needs to be off. There, off. Master switch full off. Well, let's, before we turn that off, we'll turn the avionics off. And it does its thing. And we'll reach down and click our master switch. That one gang switch turn everything off. And here we are, nicely safe on the ground at Nagoya after having taken off from Tokyo. It's not a huge flight, but it still took us almost 2 hours to cover the distance tonight. Of course, we did kill a few minutes touring around Tokyo. But in the meantime, we hope everybody's enjoyed spending some time here in Tokyo with us. And next Sunday, we'll try to find someplace interesting to take everybody. It's a big world, and there's lots of places to go. And there's lots of general aviation that'll take us there. Okay, let me get around here to reach some buttons again. And okay. I'm going through my list and seeing who's still on. Scruffy Tam is still on. And he's worthy of a good raid. It's always worthwhile to raid Scruffy. Pick the right mouse. And there, we've started a raid for Scruffy Tam. Thank you, everybody, for coming by.